Joe Biden and Jill Biden have been married for 47 years, and their romance is still going strong.
And still, there are moments when I fall in love with him all over again.
So what's their secret to a long-lasting relationship? Well, President Biden himself has shared his rather bold advice. Good sex. Yep, you heard that right.
I shouldn't tell that story?
According to an excerpt from Katie Rogers' book, American Woman, Biden has shared this spicy marital tip with his aides, much to Jill's embarrassment. I guess when it comes to love advice, he's not shy about being candid, or causing a few blushes.
You have an alternate title as well, yes, Mr. Vice President?
None that I can say.
Oh, good.
Really?
They're all endearing.
They're all
Yes,
endearing,
yeah.
but you can't say it. There you go.
He's not Trump.
Well, this isn't the first time Joe's talked about his love for Jill. Back in 2006, when asked about running for president, he famously said, "I'd rather be at home making love to my wife while my kids are asleep." Priorities, right?
Good. It's the right decision for the family. It's the right decision for us.
Let's take a trip back to where it all began. Joe and Jill's love story started on a blind date in 1975, thanks to a little matchmaking by Joe's brother. At the time, Joe had already endured unimaginable loss. He was left a widower, raising his two sons, Bo and Hunter, after his first wife, Nelia, and their infant daughter, Naomi, tragically passed in a car accident.
My wife was dead. My daughter was dead. And I wasn't sure how my sons were going to make it.
Jill, on the other hand, had just come out of a short-lived first marriage. Joe was a 33-year-old senator, and Jill was a 24-year-old college senior. Their first conversation? Absolutely hilarious. When Joe called Jill for the first time, she had no idea who he was, and bluntly asked, "How did you get this number?" Not exactly the smoothest start, but things quickly turned around when they had their first date. They went to see A Man and a Woman at a movie theater in Philadelphia, and afterward, Jill called her mom, saying, "Mom, I finally met a gentleman." Sounds like something straight out of a rom-com, doesn't it?
But when I met Jill, I fell in love with her when I saw her.
But Joe had to really work for it. He proposed to Jill not once, not twice, but 5 times before she finally said yes.
I'm going to ask you one more time. Will you marry me? She goes like this. Okay.
Jill wasn't playing around. She wanted to be absolutely sure it would work, especially since Joe's sons, Bo and Hunter, had already lost their mom. She later said, "By that time, of course, I had fallen in love with the boys, and I really felt that this marriage had to work because they had lost their mom, and I couldn't have them lose another mother, so I had to be 100% sure."
Bo and Hunt said, no, we have a mom and a mommy. Our mommy died. This is our mom.
When they did finally tie the knot in 1977 at the United Nations Chapel in New York, Bo and Hunter were right there at the altar with Jill and Joe. The small, intimate wedding had only 40 guests, but it didn't matter. It was perfect for them. They even took a family honeymoon.
I'm brushing my teeth one morning, and they came running in, and Bo and Hunt said, "Dad, we think it's time we marry Jill." Swear to God.
Fast forward to 1981, and the couple welcomed their only child together, Ashley Biden. And here's a fun tidbit. Bo and Hunter were the ones who picked her name. The family of 5 seemed to be thriving, and while Joe was busy with his political career, Jill was right by his side, supporting him through the ups and downs.
She gave us back a family.
Their family joy continued to grow when, in December 1993, Joe and Jill first became grandparents. Their son Hunter's first daughter, Naomi Biden, was named in memory of Joe's late daughter and Hunter's sister, who had tragically died in a car accident in 1972. But it wasn't all smooth sailing for Joe's political ambitions. In 2004, Jill was fiercely opposed to him running for president. She even made a memorable statement by crashing a meeting about his potential candidacy, sporting a swimsuit with "No" written across her stomach.
You couldn't win, or that you didn't want to run?
Couldn't win.
Yet, by 2008, she was fully on board. Joe entered the presidential race, and while he didn't win, he did secure the vice presidential spot on Barack Obama's ticket. A pretty great outcome, after all.
How are you feeling about this decision?
Good.
Even after all these years, the Bidens keep things romantic. In 2010, Joe gifted Jill a swing with a plaque that read, "Joe loves Jill" on Valentine's Day. They've been caught having cute moments like Joe plucking a dandelion for Jill before boarding Marine One in 2021 and even sharing a kiss in the Oval Office. These two aren't shy about PDA.
I'm really lucky.
But heartache has followed the Bidens. On January 6, 2015, Joe's son Beau, who he shared with his first wife Nelia, passed away after a long battle with brain cancer. This loss was so overwhelming that Joe stepped back from running in the next presidential election.
I think of him all the time. Whenever I have a decision that's really hard to make, I literally ask myself, what will Beau do?
Yet, as the 2020 race neared, Joe announced he was back in the game, seeking the presidency once again.
That's how I decided to run, because democracy was literally at stake.
Jill, ever the supportive partner, decided to pause her teaching career and hit the campaign trail right by his side. And Jill isn't just Joe's biggest cheerleader, she's also his protector. During a rally in 2020, a protester stormed the stage, and guess who stepped up? Jill. She basically became his personal Secret Service, and Joe couldn't help but joke, "You don't screw around with a Philly girl." Jill has her own shine too. She earned her doctorate in education in 2007, making her the first ever First Lady to hold a full-time job while in office. She's been teaching English at Northern Virginia Community College while juggling her role as the First Lady.
One of the things I'm most proud of is my doctorate. I mean, I worked so hard for it.
And when people criticized her for using doctor in her title, Joe stepped in to defend her in his classic understated way.
Anyway,
It was just the tone of it.
I've been suppressing my Irishness for a long time.
It's clear that Joe and Jill have built a solid foundation of love, humor, and partnership over the years. Their love story even extends to their roles as doting grandparents to 7 wonderful grandchildren. Joe's grandkids are Naomi, Finnegan, and Maisie, who are Hunter Biden's daughters with his ex-wife Kathleen Boole, Navy Roberts, Hunter's daughter with London Roberts, Beau Jr., Hunter's son with his current wife Melissa Cohen, and Natalie and Robert Hunter, the children of Joe's late son Beau and his wife Hallie. Oof, that's a whole lot of grandkids to keep track of. Good thing Joe's got some political experience managing a big family.
And this is a picture of
Wow.
all my girls, including my wife Jill and my daughter, my 3 granddaughters, or actually 4 granddaughters, and my grandson.
In the end, Joe and Jill's love is more than just passion. It's built on commitment, resilience, and deep affection. And as Jill herself once wrote, "One thing in my life has stayed the same. Joe and I have always had each other."
She knows me, I think, better than I know me.
So what do you think of Joe and Jill's enduring romance? Is there another presidential couple whose love story captures your heart? Share your thoughts in the comments.